Hey everybody, and welcome to another show. Today we're talking about an interesting topic I was pondering doing a video about, and I figured I'd go ahead and pull the trigger on it. Park music during the holidays. Now that is something that interests me and kind of sparked a new interest when I last went in December. I heard the park music and I was enthralled, even buying vinyl on my trip because I heard it in the parks. And I knew it would bring me back to this incredible trip that we were on. So let's dive in. But before we do, if you don't mind just liking this video, sharing it with a friend, and subscribing to the channel, it's a little way that benefits the channel immensely. It helps YouTube share these videos out to other people who don't know about them yet. So if you don't mind doing that would be great. And with that all out of the way, let's begin. My fiance Stephanie and I were walking through the park, and it was sunset, and I remember just thinking to myself, we're in the Magic Kingdom at the time, and I'm thinking, this park music is so relaxing and nostalgic and classic. It's so inviting, warm, and endearing. I loved it, and I realized that it was the Percy Faith Orchestra's Christmas Is. Percy Faith does a rendition of Happy Holiday and Christmas Is. That song and Happy Holiday are just, they're staples now for my holiday joy and things that I just cherish now. And not only because it brings me back to that trip, which we both love so much, it just brings me back to that sunset in that Magic Kingdom park, waiting for the fireworks and the castle to be lit that night. They just play this most relaxing, most peaceful park music, and it's all famous Christmas songs. This is like a dollar store record on Columbia. I was so excited about this that we were going to secondhand stores and little thrift shops in Orlando to find this stuff. I couldn't wait. I purchased a bunch on Discogs for it to be arriving when we got home, so I can clean it up and play it and add it to my holiday collection. I love holiday vinyl. It's a problem. I love it so much. Certain things are just so nostalgic and just embody the Christmas spirit so easily. Just by spinning a record, you can be brought back to your favorite memories. The music is so loungy and nostalgic in that 60s way about it, in that really laid back kind of instrumental, echoey background voices, and subtle little gentle hits to the drums and the instrumentation. It's all so laid back Christmas, and that is just great Christmas, lounge Christmas. Love it. Love it, love it. Next, you'll see something that the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland plays almost on a continuous loop, is this David Rose Christmas album. Certain excerpts from it, like Toyland, the Christmas Tree. I love the Christmas Tree. Nostalgic flair to a classic Christmas in your in your pad, and you spin this and you make a Christmas cocktail, and you're just in Christmas bliss heaven when you put this on. Some of the stuff is a little more traditional in the vein of, choir and choral aspects to this, but the standouts are Toyland, the Christmas Tree, and Carol of the Bells, and Christmas Medley. Yeah, I just felt like Jack in Christmas Town. What is this? I heard it, I had to Shazam it, and it told me it was the David Rose Christmas album. Had I have known this before Disney, I wouldn't have known this, because they don't play it anywhere else. It's the most classic thing I've ever heard. Their holiday loop is like nothing I've ever heard before. I love it. I grew up in school around this time of year, around Christmas time. They'd pipe the classic Christmas music through the sound system in the office, so you'd hear it all through the school between classes. And I didn't even hear this kind of stuff then, and that was like the most classic Christmas music you could ever find. I swore that they were playing it on a phonograph, on a turntable. But even so, it made an impression in my mind. It made me love all the classics. I grew up with the classic Christmas music. My family played it, from the 50s, 60s, and then, the 90s stuff was played in sync, and Rosie O'Donnell's Christmas album was played in my youth. But what rubbed off to me the most was the Nat King Cole, the Johnny Mathis, the Bing Crosbys, that kind of Christmas music, the Frank Sinatra Christmas music. So one other thing I noticed in the parks is they were playing in the Magic Kingdom a lot of Ray Conniff Christmas music. Ray Conniff is just exceptional in that way where it's got that classic all three guys are singing, everybody's singing in unison type of flair to it. And they're all just singing the classic Christmas tunes with that loungy jazz. Another dollar record, but a famous record. This is worth a few dollars, but something that's worth picking up because it'll bring you, if you like classic Christmas, this will bring you there. And again, these are all just on classic Columbia. Nothing special, but the vinyl record sounds exceptional. It sounds amazing. Certain things like Jolly Old St. Nicholas, you'll hear that like, you know, you're picking up your Christmas tree or something at a Christmas tree park or farm. You'll hear this kind of stuff. That's what it kind of reminds me of, just going to pick out the tree and that's like pumped out over the outdoor area. You know, it's kind of muffly. It's just those little memories that bring you to the most important Christmas feelings. It's a feeling, Christmas. It's a feeling. And this music certainly brings it out in me. The sing along with Mitch kind of stuff too. Again, talking about singing in unison. Everybody's just singing in unison every song. And the background music is a lot of accordions and highly drenched reverb, guitars and highly drenched reverb everywhere. Along a multitude of these albums have that classic reverby, echoey sense to them, and this is no exception. It's this one has the booklet with all of the lyrics mentioned here from all of the classic Christmas tunes. So I mean, this is great. Great stuff. It's just classic, simple and classic. Some of the holiday music in the Magic Kingdom can just be summed up with one album and one album alone. They play almost every one of these Christmas cocktail album songs. This packaging is great. It's got just all the track listings. It's got classic artwork with a lot of classic 50s and 60s throwbacks thrown in. Lounging back in your pad with your tree, with your dogs, with your girl by your side. This album is exceptional and I'm happy to have it. I just got it last year on vinyl. Because of the Disney parks, of course, the Magic Kingdom played a lot of these. I also love the cover in the way where this reindeer that you see is all made of cocktail memorabilia, of cocktail essentials. It's got, you know, the shaker, the stirrer, the grinder. It's got all of this awesome stuff on it. Americana Christmas music. How can you not love that? The colors. I could do without that leopard print on the spine, but otherwise, this is just something to marvel at, this cover. It's got all little, if you read what it's got going on, all these little things, every time you look at it you find something different. So this is highly recommended to pick this up if you love classic Christmas lounge, you know, background music. Perfect. Now this just reminds me of strolling through Future World at Christmas time. You know, maybe doing the holiday treat trail and the Christmas tree trail in the park. Those memories I'll never forget, and the soundtrack to it was Mannheim Steamroller's Christmas. This is the album that started it all in the 80s for the Mannheim Steamroller craze. This 1984 album, it's a staple in that like cheesy 80s way. There is a cheesy 80s side to Christmas that I adore in a lot of ways as well. And I have a lot of good memories with Mannheim Steamroller. Some of their stuff just brings me to being in the department store and shopping for Christmas gifts, being in the car during Christmas and being so excited to get home and wrap the presents and do all that stuff. It's just a background feeling that I just adore. This is all just instrumental stuff, and it's instrumental 80s Moog synthesizer-y type of stuff, and it's a good pickup. I just love the cheesy goodness of this album. I think the picture on the back is very simple, and they kind of superimpose a little Santa with reindeer on top of this. It just looks like a somebody's, you know, patio. Somebody's 80s patio on a night after they were having a holiday party took this picture. I just feel like it's great. The standout hit on this album you're gonna know is Deck the Halls. You're gonna hear that and be brought back, and you'll know that this is Mannheim Steamroller. They put out a myriad of other Christmas albums after this record, but this is the first record where they dabbled into Christmas flair and the Moog synthesizer sounds. The rest of the album isn't really delving into that Moog synthesizer-y 80s sound. It's more classic Spanish guitar and classic guitar renditions of religious Christmas songs. But the standout is Deck the Halls. Of course they play Nat King Cole's Christmas song, they play Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters in the Magic Kingdom as well, but these instrumentals really brought a sense of classic nostalgia and really embraced the old soul in me. I heard it, and I was ordering them on Discogs in the hotel room, ready for them to be delivered when I arrived home, in hopes that they'd arrive right before Christmas so I can clean them up and play them. I was enthralled, and I discovered something new on that trip that I'll never forget. So Disney has a way of getting into your heart, even passively, without the parades, without the stage shows, without the theming, without the cookie trail and the treat trail and the holiday tree. It has a way of subtly getting into your heart without you even realizing it, and that touch is something I hope never changes in the parks. I'm always afraid of change with the Disney parks. I don't love change, that's all. I want to go back and marvel at it again. And really have the Magic Kingdom just blow me in the face with that classic Christmas, because Disney has a way of doing classic Christmas. The merch is homogenized beyond belief. But some of it is great. Some of it has that classic 60s Mickey on it. I highly recommend, world events aside, booking your trip to Disney for Christmas. You'll never forget it. Again, that sunset going down right before the castle lit up. Waiting for the sun to go down, and just having a selfie extravaganza with Stephanie. I'll never forget it, and it was just so fun. I even met the Diz Unplugged's Steve Porter sitting next to him during the holiday parade that night. It was a night I'll never forget, and the music is a big part of it to help me bring me back and remember and just delve into the good memories that I had there, and the good memories I will be making in the future. You can find me lounging to a melody. Take care, folks. Thanks again, folks, for checking out this episode. If you do feel so inclined as to follow me on social media, you may gladly do so at ManzaMedia Art and ManzaMedia on every other platform. If you like prints, I've got an Etsy shop where you can pick up some of my original artwork and fan artwork. I'll catch you folks on the next episode of Manza Media.